All right, we're going to start special right triangles. There's going to be two of these special right triangles. We're going to learn and go over this chapter. There's only two of them overall, so we're going to cover both of them. The first one is 30, 60, 90. Okay, so basically, all the triangles we're going to be looking at have an angle of 30, an angle of 60, and an angle of 90. So they're all basically the same triangle, but they can be different sizes. Okay, if you think back to similar triangles, we would say all of these triangles are similar because their angles are all 30, 60, 90. Okay, it's just going to be that they're blown up or shrunk down. They can be different sizes, right? But they're all going to be the same shape, really. Okay, so there's a couple different ways of thinking of this. These two triangles here would be considered the base triangle for this 30, 60, 90 idea, okay? And the reason this is a special right triangle is because we see it a lot, it comes up a lot, and we have these ratios between the sides where if we know one side of this triangle, we can figure out the other two, okay? So first way of thinking about it over here on the left is this would be X being the side across from the 30 degrees. This is the smallest side. Okay, so no matter what it is, it can be anything, right? It's X. The second biggest side, which would be the longer leg over here, would be X root 3. So whatever this side is, we would multiply it by root 3, which is about 1.7. Okay, so it's between 1 and 2. Okay, so we would multiply this by root 3 to get the longer leg. Okay, or to get the hypotenuse, okay, the longest side, all right, across from the 90-degree angle, we would take whatever this side is and multiply it by 2, okay? So the base triangle here would kind of be, if this is 1, this is the square root of 3, and this is 2, okay? So the way this works is, let's see how we're going to use this, okay? So let's say I have my triangle here. Much better. So here's 90, here's 60, and we would automatically know this is 30 if we're just given two of them. So let's say this is, I don't know, 2, and this is X, and this is Y, okay? I want to find X and Y. Well, using these base triangles here, and now you can use either one. It doesn't matter which one you want to think of, okay? But it's going to be the same process. To get from the short leg to the long leg, so to get from 2 to X, I have to multiply by the square root of 3. And that's going to be the same for every triangle because they're all 30, 60, 90, okay? So if I multiply 2 times the square root of 3, X just equals 2 root 3, okay? Pretty basic. And then for Y, to get from the short leg to the hypotenuse, the longest side, I'm going to multiply by 2. So Y equals 2 times 2 would be 4, okay? So basically, from the short leg to the long leg, X to X root 3, I'm multiplying by root 3. Or to get from the short leg to the hypotenuse, I'm multiplying by 2. I never want to go from the longer leg to the hypotenuse. I never want to make a relationship between these two sides because then I'm dealing with the 2 and the root 3 and it gets more complicated. So we don't have to worry about that. So we're just dealing with the short leg going to one of the longer sides, okay? Now, what if I have an example where I'm not given the short leg? Maybe I'm given this is 6, this is X, and this is Y, okay? Well, and I'm trying to find X and Y again, okay? And we'll say this is 90, this is 30, this is 60. So it's kind of the same thing, but I'm going backwards, okay? If I want to get back to the shortest leg from 2 back to 1, I would, instead of multiply, I would just divide, right? I'm going to divide by 2. So when I go from 6 to X right here, I'm going to do 6 divided by 2 equals 3. So X equals 3, okay? So now that I have X equals 3, then I can just go right here from X to Y, which was, if we look back over here, multiplying by root 3, right? So 3 from X times root 3 is just going to be 3 root 3. Okay, so this is going to take some practice. Hopefully, once we practice it enough, we'll get the hang of it. And then last thing is to go, if you're given the longest leg, Not the hypotenuse, but the long leg. Whoops. Hang on 1 second. There we go. To get from the longer leg to the shortest leg, we would divide by root 3. And that's where it gets a little bit tricky. That's why we have to know how to rationalize the denominator, okay? So let's see an example where that happens. Here's 30, here's 60. Let's say we're given this is about 4, and this is x, and this is y. So I want to go from 4 down to x, so I have to divide by root 3. So 4 over root 3. I can't leave that as my answer because it has a root in the denominator. So remember, this is where I times by root 3 over root 3. And you multiply straight across, so this ends up being 4 root 3 over 3. And that is our answer for x. So that equals x. Now, when I have x, I'm going to multiply by 2 to get y, okay? So I'm going to do 4 root 3 over 3. I'm going to multiply this by 2. When I multiply something, I'm just multiplying it by the numerator, right? So 4 times 2 would be 8. So this would be equal 8 root 3 over 3. So that would be your answer for y. So it does get a little complicated, and we'll go over more examples as we go.